Ever noticed how some people clap for you, but their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes? How they say they support you, but something about their energy feels off? Envy and falsehood don't announce themselves. They come disguised as friendship, love, and support. And if you're not paying attention, you'll mistake their resentment for concern and their competition for motivation. The truth: most people don't want you to succeed. They just want you to do slightly better than your failures, but never enough to make them feel small. They'll downplay your wins, celebrate your struggles, and keep you close, not because they care, but because they want a front row seat to your life. If you've ever felt like someone in your life secretly roots against you, you're not imagining it. Here are clear signs that someone envies you or is faking their relationship with you. Pay attention, because the people closest to you aren't always on your side. By the way, if you enjoy deep, thought-provoking insights on Stoicism, self-improvement, and navigating life with wisdom, you'll love my free newsletter. Every Sunday, I share powerful lessons, controversial truths, and practical strategies to help you level up, all for free. Want to join? Sign up using the link below and start receiving value-packed content straight to your inbox every week. And if you're a brand looking to sponsor my content and reach a highly engaged audience, feel free to reach out via my email in the description. Let's create something impactful together. 1. They downplay your achievements. Success doesn't just change your life, it changes how people treat you. Pay close attention to how someone reacts when you accomplish something important. A real friend or partner will celebrate with you. No hesitation, no ego, no passive-aggressive remarks. But a fake supporter, they'll downplay, dismiss, or subtly undermine your achievements, and they'll do it with a smile, as if they're doing you a favor by keeping you humble. At first, it might seem harmless, just a passing comment, a joke, or an underwhelmed reaction, but over time, you'll notice a pattern. Every time you succeed, they find a way to minimize it. Oh, that's nice, but isn't that kind of expected? I mean, I guess that's cool, but it's not like you won the lottery. That's great, but honestly, I thought you'd have done this sooner. They don't have to insult you outright. Their lack of enthusiasm speaks for itself. Some won't even acknowledge your win at all, pretending they forgot or conveniently changing the subject when you bring it up. Others will hit you with backhanded compliments, making it seem like they're proud of you while subtly putting you down. And here's the kicker: if they had accomplished the exact same thing, they'd expect a standing ovation. They'd post about it everywhere, bring it up in every conversation, and expect you to hype them up endlessly. But when it's your success, suddenly, it's no big deal. They'll act like it was luck, like you just got lucky, or like it's something anyone could have done. Why? Because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Your achievements remind them of everything they haven't done, and instead of using that as motivation, they let resentment take over. It's not just that they don't want to see you win, they just don't want you to win more than them. And the most dangerous part, these people often disguise themselves as your closest friends, your family, even your partner. You assume they want what's best for you, but deep down, they'd rather see you stay at their level or below. They secretly hope you'll fail, or at the very least, that you'll never outshine them. They'll mask it as concern, pretend they're just being realistic, and tell you not to get ahead of yourself. But don't be fooled. This isn't love, it's disguised insecurity. So the next time you accomplish something and someone makes you feel like it doesn't matter, don't brush it off. That's not just a casual comment, that's envy speaking. And envy disguised as friendship is one of the most toxic forces in any relationship. The sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can protect yourself from people who pretend to be in your corner while secretly hoping you'll never leave their shadow. 2. They give backhanded compliments. Some people can't bring themselves to openly criticize you, but they also can't stand seeing you feel too good about yourself. So what do? They get creative. Instead of direct insults, they use compliments laced with hidden jabs. Statements designed to sound positive on the surface, but carry an undertone of condescension, doubt, or even mockery. Ever heard something like, "Wow, you actually did a great job on this. I wasn't expecting that. You look really nice today, way better than usual. Congrats on the promotion. Must be nice to have good connections. I love how confident you are. I wish I could just not care what people think too." It's impressive how far you've come, considering where you started. These aren't compliments, they're disguised insults. The moment you hear one, you instinctively feel a mix of confusion, annoyance, and self-doubt. And that's exactly the point. It's manipulation through language. They want to knock you down a peg, but they don't want to look like the bad guy. So they coat the insult in sugar. This way, if you call them out on it, they can play innocent. "Oh my gosh, I was just joking. You're so sensitive." "I meant it as a compliment. Why are you taking it the wrong way?" "I was just trying to be nice. You should learn to take praise better." And just like that, the blame shifts onto you. Suddenly, you are the one overreacting. You are the one making a big deal out of nothing, and they get to walk away guilt-free, having planted a tiny seed of insecurity in your mind. But here's the thing. Backhanded compliments don't come from people who truly support you. They come from people who feel threatened by you. A person who's comfortable in their own skin has no reason to disguise insults as praise. They'll either be happy for you, or if they do have criticism, they'll be direct and honest about it. They won't play these mind games. The real danger of backhanded compliments is that they chip away at your confidence over time. The more you hear them, the more you start to second-guess yourself. Am I really that good at this? Do people actually think I'm competent, or are they just being polite? That's exactly what the envious person wants, to subtly make you question your worth without ever taking direct responsibility for it. But don't let them get away with it. When you recognize a backhanded compliment, call it out. Not in a defensive way, but in a way that forces them to clarify their intent. Respond with, "That's an interesting way to phrase that. What do you mean?" "I'm not sure I get what you're saying. Are you complimenting me or criticizing me?" "Oh, it sounds like there's a little dig in there. Want to be more direct?" Watch how quickly they backtrack. At the end of the day, real supporters uplift you without making it feel like an attack. They won't make you feel like you have to decode their words to figure out whether they're being genuine or fake. So if someone constantly gives you compliments that make you feel worse rather than better, don't brush it off. That's not love. That's envy wrapped in politeness. And the only way to deal with it, either expose it or walk away from it entirely. Here's your paragraph with correct grammar, punctuation, and structure while keeping the original meaning intact. 3. They copy you but won't admit it. Imitation can be flattery, but when someone mirrors your style, speech, and even life choices while denying it, it's not admiration, it's hidden envy. They don't just want what you have, they want to be you. And that's when it becomes unsettling. At first it seems harmless. You pick up a new hobby, and suddenly they're into it too. You change your style, and next thing you know, they're dressing the same. You take a big career step, and suddenly they're on a similar path. But when you bring it up, "What? I've always liked this." They'll gaslight you into thinking you're imagining things, when deep down they know exactly what they're doing. They're living in your shadow while pretending they aren't even looking at you. This isn't just copying, it's an identity crisis at your expense. Why do they do it? People who secretly envy you won't admit it. Instead, they absorb your identity while pretending their choices are purely their own. They don't just admire you, they resent the fact that you're ahead of them. Rather than acknowledging your influence, they rewrite the story to make it seem like they discovered everything on their own. Worse, they might start competing. At first, it's subtle, mirroring your interests, your style, your habits. Then, they edge into your social circles, trying to form relationships with your people. And if they surpass you in any way, they erase you completely, acting like you were never part of the equation. It's not admiration, it's quiet sabotage. And they do it with a smile. How to spot it? They suddenly adopt your interests and habits, but insist it's a coincidence. They take credit for ideas you introduced, while acting like they thought of them first. They get defensive when confronted, as if you're imagining things or being paranoid. They subtly compete, always trying to outdo you, without admitting they're following your lead. They infiltrate your social circles, forming connections with people you introduce them to. They dismiss your influence, acting like you had nothing to do with their sudden changes. How to handle it? Call it out subtly. A casual "We've been into a lot of the same things lately, huh?" can expose their reaction. Stop oversharing. If they can't steal your ideas, they can't mirror them. Set boundaries. You don't owe them access to your identity. Test their authenticity. Change something small and see if they follow. If they do, you have your answer. Take it as a compliment, but stay wary. Their imitation proves you're doing something right. Just don't let them rewrite the narrative to make it look like you're the one following them. Distance yourself. If their behavior starts feeling obsessive or manipulative, it's time to step back. A real friend or partner doesn't need to become you to appreciate you. If they're mirroring you but refusing to admit it, it's not admiration, it's envy disguised as inspiration. And if you let it slide, they may not just copy you, they may try to replace you entirely, leaving you wondering if they ever valued you as a person or simply saw you as a blueprint. 4. They secretly enjoy your failures. Nothing reveals a person's true nature more than how they react when you're struggling. A genuine friend or partner will support you, encourage you, and help you get back on your feet. But someone who secretly envies you, they won't show it outright, but deep down, they love watching you stumble. Your failures give them a twisted sense of satisfaction. Because for once, you're not ahead of them. You're vulnerable, and they feel superior. At first, it might seem like they care. They might say the right words, ask how you're doing, and pretend to offer support. But if you look closely, their tone lacks genuine concern. Their words feel hollow, forced, or even laced with subtle jabs. If you share your struggles, they might throw in a casual, "Well, you always did take big risks. I kind of saw this coming." Statements that do nothing to help, but everything to rub salt in the wound. And then there's the smirk, that brief flicker of amusement when you share bad news. The slight change in their energy when they realize you're no longer doing as well as before. They won't openly celebrate your failure, but they won't hide their relief either. Why do they do it? People who secretly envy you have been waiting for a moment where you lose. They've watched you succeed, compared themselves to you, and felt overshadowed. Your downfall, no matter how small, reassures them. It makes them feel like the playing field is finally even, or better yet, that they're now ahead of you. Some will even use your low moments as an opportunity to boost themselves. While you're struggling, they subtly highlight how great things are going for them. You lost your job. Suddenly they can't stop talking about how amazing their new role is. Your relationship ended. They're now gushing about how perfect theirs is. They see your pain as a moment to showcase their success, because deep down, they were never rooting for you. How to spot it? They offer support that doesn't actually help. Instead of lifting you up, they make passive-aggressive remarks masked as concern. They don't seem genuinely sad when you fail. Their energy lightens, even if they try to hide it. They subtly compare their success to your struggles. Instead of just listening, they shift the conversation to how well they are doing. They remind you of past mistakes. Instead of encouraging you, they bring up times you failed before. They suddenly act more confident when you're at your lowest. Your downfall makes them feel like they have the upper hand. How to handle it? Stop sharing your failures with them. If they can't be trusted with your struggles, they don't deserve access to them. Observe their reactions closely. Next time you share bad news, watch their energy. Real support feels genuine, not rehearsed. Test them with fake problems. Mention a minor failure that isn't real and see how they react. If they seem too pleased, you have your answer. Call them out subtly. A simple, "You seem happy about this," can catch them off guard. Watch their reaction. Distance yourself. If someone finds joy in your pain, they were never truly on your side. A real friend or partner hates seeing you struggle, someone who secretly envies you. They pretend to care, but deep down they feel relieved. And that kind of person has no place in your life. 5. They only support you in public. True support isn't about grand gestures for an audience. It's about who's in your corner when no one's watching. Some people only show up for you when it benefits them. They'll cheer for you in public, leave enthusiastic comments on your posts, and act like your biggest fan when others are around. But when it's just the two of you, their energy changes. The enthusiasm fades. The support disappears. This is a performance, not loyalty. They're not celebrating you because they genuinely care. They're doing it because they want to be seen supporting you. To the outside world, they appear to be a great friend or partner. But behind closed doors, they give you nothing. No genuine encouragement, no real interest in your goals. Sometimes, not even a simple congratulations when you accomplish something. Why do they do it? These people care more about looking supportive than actually being supportive. Their motivation, image, status, control. They want to be associated with your success because it makes them look good. They want people to think they're in your inner circle so they can share in your achievements without actually contributing, or worse. They secretly resent your success, but know they can't openly show it. So they overcompensate with public praise and to hide their real feelings. That way, if you ever call them out for their lack of private support, they can say, "What do you mean? I'm always rooting for you." And they'll point to their public performances as proof. How to spot it? They hype you up online, but never acknowledge your success in private. They attend your big moments, but never help you prepare for them. They'll show up to your book launch, but never ask how the writing process is going. They make a scene about supporting you, but only when there's an audience. They don't offer real encouragement when it actually matters. When you need advice or reassurance, they're suddenly unavailable. They never check in on your struggles. They only celebrate when things are going well, because they don't actually care. They just want to be seen. How to handle it? Pay attention to consistency. Real support is there all the time, not just when it's convenient. Test their private support. Share an achievement one-on-one before posting it publicly, if they barely acknowledge it but act excited later. For an audience, you have your answer. Stop giving them credit for empty gestures. Just because someone looks like a great friend or partner doesn't mean they are one. Don't let public praise blind you. The real ones celebrate you behind closed doors. The fake ones need an audience. A true friend or partner lifts you up, no matter what. They don't need a spotlight to show their loyalty. If someone only supports you when others are watching, they're not in your corner. They're just using you for the image. 6. They always find ways to make you feel small. Real friends and partners uplift you, but envious and fake people do the exact opposite. They can't handle your growth, so they chip away at your confidence, not with obvious insults, but with subtle, calculated digs designed to shrink you over time. It's not just about putting you down, it's about making sure you never outshine them. At first it seems harmless, a little joke here, a slight correction there. But pay close attention. The pattern is always the same. Every time you achieve something, they find a way to undermine it. Every time you feel good about yourself, they make a sarcastic remark to bring you down. Every time you step into your power, they make you second-guess yourself. How do they do it? Constant jokes at your expense. They hide behind humor, but the message is clear. You're not as smart, talented, or capable as you think you are. If you call them out, they'll dismiss it with, "Relax, I'm just joking." Subtle digs disguised as advice. Instead of congratulating you on a new job, they'll say, "Wow, I didn't think they were hiring people with your experience." Every compliment feels backhanded. Bringing up your past mistakes. Every time you make progress, they remind you of your failures. They don't celebrate your growth. They use your past to invalidate your present. Acting like they know better, even when you excel at something, they always have a better way of doing it. They correct you constantly, making sure you never feel fully competent, making you feel difficult or too much. If you express your feelings, they roll their eyes. If you set boundaries, they call you dramatic. If you achieve success, they make you feel guilty for it. Why do they do it? Because your confidence is a threat to them. They can't handle your success, so they slowly erode your self-belief. They need you to doubt yourself because deep down, they're the ones who feel inadequate. They can't be happy for you because your progress reminds them of their own stagnation. How to handle it? Stop laughing it off. If their jokes make you feel bad, they're not jokes. Call them out. Trust your gut. If you always feel small around them, that's not an accident. It's intentional. Don't seek validation from them. If someone is determined to make you feel inadequate, nothing you do will ever be enough. Limit your exposure. You don't need to keep toxic people in your life just because of history. Distance yourself. 7. Their presence feels draining. Some people uplift you, fill you with energy and leave you feeling inspired after every interaction. Others, they feel like an emotional black hole. No matter how much positivity you bring, they always manage to drain you. Being around them is exhausting, confusing, and often leaves you feeling worse about yourself. And the most dangerous part? You might not even realize it's happening until you've spent too much time under their influence. At first, it might seem like they're just going through a rough patch. But over time, you notice a pattern. They always bring negativity into the conversation, subtly belittle your choices, and make everything feel like a competition. Instead of feeling valued and understood, you feel like you have to prove yourself to them. Signs they're draining your energy. You feel mentally and emotionally exhausted after seeing them. It's not just about having a bad day. Every time you interact with them, you leave feeling drained, unmotivated, or second-guessing yourself. They dump their problems on you but never support you in return. They treat you like a free therapist, constantly venting about their issues. Yet, when you need advice or emotional support, they're nowhere to be found. Conversations feel like a battle. They always have something negative to say. If you share good news, they downplay it. If you express your struggles, they make it seem insignificant compared to theirs. They thrive on keeping you off balance. One day they act like your biggest fan. The next, they're distant, passive-aggressive, or even cold. This hot and cold dynamic keeps you constantly seeking their approval, even when you know deep down they don't have your best interests at heart. They make you feel guilty for needing distance. The moment you start pulling away, they try to guilt-trip you. They might say things like, "You've changed," or act like you're the bad person for setting boundaries. Why do they drain you? Because they feed on your energy. They might not even be doing it consciously, but their negativity, jealousy, or emotional neediness takes from you without ever giving back. Some people thrive when others are uncertain, insecure, or in need of their validation because it makes them feel powerful. They don't want to see you fully confident and independent because then you wouldn't need them anymore. They might frame it as just being realistic or tough love. But in reality, they create an atmosphere of doubt, stress, and second-guessing. And the longer you tolerate it, the more it starts affecting your mindset, ambitions, and even your self-worth. How to handle it? Trust your instincts. If you consistently feel worse after spending time with someone, don't ignore that feeling. Your energy doesn't lie. Set clear boundaries. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your time or emotional labor, especially if they never reciprocate. Reduce contact. If every conversation leaves you feeling drained, why keep engaging? Limit how often and how deeply you interact with them. Surround yourself with people who recharge you. The right relationships make you feel valued, seen, and inspired, not like you have to fight for approval. Cut ties if necessary. If someone consistently brings toxicity into your life, it's okay to walk away. Your peace of mind is more valuable than any relationship. At the end of the day, you have to protect your energy. If someone constantly drains it, ask yourself, why am I still allowing them this much space in my life? You can't pour from an empty cup, so stop letting them drink from yours. 8. They keep score in the relationship. Every relationship, whether it's friendship, family, or romance, should have a natural give and take. But with this person, everything feels like a transaction. Every favor, every kind gesture, and every act of generosity comes with an unspoken contract. You owe them. They don't do things out of genuine care, but out of expectation for something in return. Signs that someone keeps score in a relationship. They frequently remind you of things they've done for you, even if it was months or years ago. They get upset or distant if you don't return a favor exactly the way they expect. They dismiss or downplay your efforts when you do something for them. They make you feel guilty for not matching their level of giving. They bring up past favors in arguments as leverage to manipulate you. Their acts of kindness often feel conditional rather than genuine. Why do they keep score? Keeping score isn't about fairness, it's about control. These people want to maintain a psychological advantage over you, making you feel like you're constantly in debt to them. Here's why they do it: control and power. By making you feel obligated, they ensure you will always be available to meet their needs, whether emotional, financial, or practical. Insecurity. Some people fear being taken advantage of, so they keep track of everything they do to protect themselves from feeling used. Manipulation. They use guilt as a tool to get what they want, ensuring you feel bad if you don't pay them back. Lack of genuine connection. They don't see relationships as mutual, trusting bonds, but as exchanges where everything must be even or in their favor. Victim mentality. They believe they are always giving more than they receive, making them feel like martyrs who are unfairly burdened. How to handle it. If someone in your life keeps score, you have three choices: call it out, set boundaries, or walk away. 1. Acknowledge the pattern. Recognize when a person is using favors as leverage rather than showing genuine kindness. If you constantly feel like you owe them something, something is off. 2. Address it directly. Say something like, "I appreciate what you've done for me, but I don't believe relationships should be about keeping score. I do things for you because I care, not because I expect something in return. I'd like the same in return." 3. Set boundaries. If they keep throwing past favors in your face, make it clear: "I don't want to feel like everything is a transaction. If you're going to do things for me just to use them against me later, I'd rather you not." 4. Stop playing the game. If they do something for you and expect something in return, don't comply out of guilt. Let them feel however they feel. The only way to break the cycle is to stop rewarding their behavior. 5. Re-evaluate the relationship. If they refuse to stop keeping score and it's draining your energy, ask yourself, is this a healthy relationship? People who truly care about you give without expecting a tally in return. At the end of the day, relationships should be built on trust, mutual care, and authenticity, not silent debts and guilt trips. If someone is keeping score, they aren't looking for a connection, they're looking for band control. Envy and falsehood don't announce themselves loudly. They creep in slowly, poisoning relationships until trust is broken and sincerity disappears. The worst part? By the time most people recognize the damage, they've already wasted months, years, or even decades on relationships that were never genuine. The moment you see the signs, don't ignore them. Your peace is priceless. Fake people thrive in relationships where their behavior goes unchallenged. But when you start setting boundaries, when you stop justifying their actions, and when you finally refuse to tolerate manipulation, you take back your power. You don't have to argue, you don't have to explain yourself, and you certainly don't have to keep people in your life who secretly root for your failures, undermine your success, or drain your energy. Cut them off if you must. Distance yourself if you need to. Real relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity, not silent competition, hidden resentment, or fake loyalty. At the end of the day, your time and energy are sacred. Don't waste them on people who only pretend to care. Stay wise, stay aware, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who truly want to see you win. Conclusion. Toxic relationships don't always reveal themselves immediately. Sometimes they disguise themselves as friendships, partnerships, or even family bonds, slowly chipping away at your confidence, energy, and sense of self. Whether it's subtle digs, emotional manipulation, or a constant need to keep score, these behaviors are not acts of love or care. They are tactics of control. The truth is, real relationships should uplift you, not drain you. They should make you feel valued, not small. They should inspire confidence, not self-doubt. And most importantly, they should be built on trust, mutual respect, and authenticity, not silent competition, guilt, or hidden resentment. If someone in your life constantly makes you question your worth, undermines your success, or keeps you in a cycle of guilt and obligation, it's time to step back and reassess. You don't owe anyone endless chances or unlimited access to your time and energy, especially when they don't reciprocate with the same love and support. Protect your peace, set boundaries. Choose relationships that nourish your soul, not ones that deplete it. At the end of the day, the people who truly care about you will never make you feel like you have to fight for their approval or prove your worth. They will celebrate your wins, respect your boundaries, and encourage your growth. Because real connections aren't built on control or competition, but on genuine love and support. So, stay wise, stay strong, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who truly want to see you win. Love.